Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast today. Right here, we will be representing the MMU students to have a little chat and share about the current pandemic. I am Julian and I will be one of your hosts for today.
And I am Jason Voon, who will be the second MC of this podcast. To get this podcast started, first let our team introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Tan Seng Lee.
Hi, my name is Dharma Gindran.
Hi, my name is Jay Kumar.
Hi, I'm Jin Heng.
Hello, my name is Li Chin.
I'm Chen Zhen.
And I'm Mong Hao Ran.
I'm Yahweh.
Hi, I'm Vish Hariran.
Hello, my name is Louis Ling.
Hello everyone, my name is Rumai Saraita.
Hello, I'm Sarenya Vel Vivekananda.
As the pandemic continues, everyone has been trying to cope with the pandemic, right? While trying to live their daily life. So everyone, how are you during the pandemic? Are you doing fine? Or have you learned some techniques from home or other than that? So Jason, can you share with us how were you during the pandemic?
Sure, Li Xiao Liang. Well, first of all, I'm honored to be here and share my experience with all of you here and in front of the screen. Actually, this pandemic made me feel like I started a new life, and it's true. Yeah, I can also say that it completely changed my life. Super true. When the pandemic first started, of course, my mood was indeed a bit negative. But then I thought about it. I should actively face this challenge. After all, people have to adapt to the environment, not the environment adapt to us. That's my little thought. How about you, Stanley? How do you feel about the current pandemic right now?
Okay, as for me, this pandemic is really hard on me since everything is done online right now. And I'm one of those who are really poor at technology and rarely use a laptop or computer. I also need to buy a new laptop just to continue my studies without even knowing how to use it.
Oh, that's really bad for you. How about you, Siddharth? Do you have anything to share about your life during the pandemic?
Yeah, of course, it really hit me so bad because we used to hang out with our friends at night and loved ones, and suddenly it just stopped like that. And I was like a lazy guy lying on bed, using my phone and playing games at the home, and did not have anything to do. So it was like a nightmare for me now. Just keep on eating what my mother cooked. This is what I was doing on my pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic, a lot of people were also affected by their financial statements, and some people really don't have money to survive during the home, jobless, and bankrupt, and many reasons that we can relate it here. So there are many mental health issues that happen during the pandemic too. So one of the major problem a lot of people were facing increased level of alcohol and drug use.
That is absolutely true. It's been a disaster for some of the people. What about you, Junhan? Do you have anyone close to you that had acquired that required that that get the COVID-19 before?
Yes, I have two aunts who have got the COVID-19. One of the aunt got before the vaccination, and one got after the vaccination.
I see.
So for the aunt acquired before the vaccination, when she got the COVID-19, her condition will be more serious and her sequela is obvious. According to her, now she is out for bed when claimed the stay. So for the other aunts who got the COVID-19 after the vaccination, her symptoms are mild and she recover quickly and her sequela is not that serious. Besides, I mean there are many people around me have the COVID-19. I hope I hope you all take care for yourself and your family.
That's right. As you all had heard it so many times before, we might still get COVID after the vaccination, right? So please be careful out there. even though you have gotten your vaccination. Yeah. As for everyone here, has anyone heard of the booster vaccine recently? Has anyone here taken the booster vaccine? I heard that it is really painful and most people will be sick after taking it.
Yeah, everyone should have heard about the booster vaccine, but I did not take the booster because I heard that the booster will make our body very weak compared to the vaccine this and before this. And also and also people had passed away after taking the booster vaccine because the effect of the booster is very high compared to the vaccine we have took before.
I just took the booster vaccine this February and I got fever and muscle ache just like most of the people. It is actually not really painful, just a bit uncomfortable. But what I've heard from my friend is she got unusual pimples all over her face and she has to do a blood test and take medicine for a month.
That was scary for those of us who had not taken it yet. However, I still think it is still better for everyone to take their booster to be safer. So, how about pandemic prevention? Junhan, would you like to share with us your way to prevent the pandemic, the way you do it?
Okay. For me, the easy way is no to go out when it is not necessary. If I need to go out, I wear double mask. One is the medical one and one is the cloth one. I will avoid going to crowded place and I will keep the social distance about 2 meter long. I sanitize my hand every time I go home. After that, I wash my hand with soap for around 20 seconds and then shower. If I go out, I try to avoid touching my eyes or cheek because the finger are the dirtiest. Here, how I prevent the COVID-19.
Right. I think that's the best everyone could do right now. How about you, Jaya? Do any of you have any great ideas in order to stop the pandemic?
Well, yeah, people should distract travel. So traveling can increase the spirit of COVID-19 and put at risk for contracting the disease. So avoid non-essential travel or don't leave home during the pandemic. So that's it. I think that's the simple way.
Great, thank you for your great tips, Jaya. Next, let us have a little talk about everyone's health in this pandemic.
Sure. Let's start it from you, Javed. What do you do to manage a healthy lifestyle during the pandemic? I heard that you are doing some exercise on your own at home. Would you like to share your story about it?
Yeah, thanks. I like to play basketball and badminton. However, during the pandemic, we cannot go outside to play. So I do the Tabata during pandemic. I think some people will don't understand what is Tabata. So let me explain. Tabata is a form of intensity physical training in which very short periods of extremely demanding activity are alternate with shorter periods of rest, typically over a period of 4 minutes. During the pandemic, I will do 3 to 4 sets Tabata in the morning.
That's a very good exercise you did there. What do you think, Litin?
I think what Jawei said is really a way of managing our health during this pandemic. But I think that apart from exercise not keeping us healthy all the time, diet is also important. A healthy diet can help us prevent many diseases, and a healthy diet combined with self-disciplined exercise can also make us have a more perfect body. So I usually pay attention to the composition of my food and eat less fried food. I also often go to bed early and get up early to keep my body in a good state.
I see there. I personally had never done that before. Maybe some days I will start living a healthy lifestyle too. How about you, Kia Chen? Kia Chen.
Uh, I'm an outgoing person and I always go outside to play sport and outdoor activities with my friends before the pandemic. However, since MCO happened, I had to change my social activities with my friends from physical gathering to online video calling or messages. All of us were quite unfamiliar with it at the beginning, but soon got to use it more frequently. I also try to change my sport activity from outdoor to indoor so that I can continue my exercise easier as the SOP set by the government to protect our citizens from COVID have closed down a lot of my private sport routines such as playing badminton and swimming.
True, that's quite terrible for those who love sports, right? How about you, Howland? Do you have any stories going on during the pandemic?
Oh, before the pandemic, I always went to the school nearby my house to play table tennis with my friends and families. And due to the pandemic, I had to stop playing the table tennis for 2 years.
Man, that's pretty bad, eh? The pandemic really brings a lot of trouble to everyone during the lockdown period. How about you, Jawe?
In my personal perspective, during the pandemic, the class session was changed to online class, not face to face. There's a big problem with online classes. During the online class, I can't follow my teacher's instruction because of the Wi-Fi connection problem or cannot clearly hear what the teacher says. Sometimes we also cannot focus on the class.
True, that's probably one of the worst cases for all the students right now. To summarize this topic, what do you guys think is the benefit or some tips to have a healthy body during the pandemic? How about you, Litin?
Oh, I think having a health body during the pandemic allows us to pay more attention to the lecturers and better absorb the knowledge taught by the teacher. Of course, a healthy body can make us more confident. As for tips, go to the bed early and get up early, eat healthy, and get more exercise. If you can do the above points, then you can have a healthy body.
That is so true. How about you, Howren? Do you have any recommendation for our audience?
Yeah, actually, I have a pretty good workout to share with you guys. And it's called Insanity Workout. So the workout is an advanced exercise program. And it involves body weight exercise and high intensity interval training. The Insanity Workout are performed on 20 to 60 minutes at a time and 6 days a week. So when doing these workouts, we will work the following muscle groups, such as abdominals, arms, shoulders, chest, legs, and also your glutes.
For me, my personal tips and method to keep my body fit enough during the entire lockdown period were a healthy diet and regular indoor exercises. I seldom eat fried and oily food that gain a lot of weight nor drink high sweet beverage. A good daily routine and keeping good emotion throughout the whole day also provide us a stronger physical and mental health. Lastly, I will also do yoga twice a week to ensure sufficient exercise. All the yoga skill and posture performed were learned online from YouTube during my leisure time.
Man, all right. That's pretty good tips. Thank you, guys.
That's perfect. Alright, thank you for your great advice. Next, what about the studies? Does pandemic affect everyone's studies favorably or not? Or does anyone have any stories to share? Let's start the topic with you, Vesh. What is your opinion on the effect of pandemic on studies?
Well, let's face it, this pandemic has not been nice to us, especially to the students. The pandemic has affected all the students in many ways. For instance, online classes. As a student, we all wanted to complete our course like a normal student. But right before we begin our study life, the pandemic has ambushed us suddenly with no expectation. So they came up with online studies so quickly, like they were prepared. So all the students have not been able to study properly and gain knowledge like the old since online is new to everyone. Students tend to face difficulty composing the education related to online. I do pity the SPM student as SPM is the last year of school in their entire life. They at least should fulfill their schooling life, but unfortunately they can't.
I agree with you, Vash. What about you, Rumaisa? As you are an international student, do you have any story to share with us?
Yes, online learning and traditional learning both have different benefits and problems. Some students can learn better in distance learning, whereas others learn better in traditional learning. As an international student, my experience is mostly different than that of local students. First, I learned better in the traditional learning system. In my first few trimesters, I have faced many problems. I was having a hard time being comfortable with the online learning system because I wasn't familiar at all with the system. Also, I didn't know anyone whom I could get help from for my problems. As an international student, it was very difficult for me to make friends. If I was face to face, maybe I had a better chance of making friends, but online it's very difficult. It was very tough to simply communicate and make friends. Another problem I faced was the time difference. I need to wake up before 6 o'clock to join the classes. It was difficult at first, but as time passes, I learned to manage. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I learned better in traditional learning. It was difficult for me to learn online. I couldn't discuss myself with anyone. Since it was hard for me to make friends, I was having trouble with the group assignments also. First of all, I couldn't make groups easily because I didn't know anyone, and even if I am in any group, communication was a bit of a problem for me. Sometimes I don't have the urge to study because the learning process is not that engaging. I wanted to enjoy the campus life as an international student. That's why I took admission in a foreign country, but sadly I couldn't enjoy it that much. Overall, the experience is not that satisfactory for me, but now I have learned to manage, and also now I have some made some good friends, thankfully. So I think now it's better than before, but still I would prefer face-to-face classes than online.
That's really troublesome for you. How about you, Luis? I heard that you do not take SPM. How do you get to diploma without one?
Okay, so for me, I have graduated from an independent high school. My school didn't force us to take the SPM. And also our school graduation exam is UEC, Unified Examination Certificate. That how do I get to diploma with a UEC certificate? Actually, nowadays many university have recognized the UEC certificate, so it's easier for me to continue my study life. So for example, our university diploma entry requirement is a minimum of grade B in at least three subjects inclusive of mathematics and a pass in English. So there's not difficult to get to diploma without one for me.
I see, Louis. I never heard of that before. There's something new for everyone to learn, I guess. I believe most of the people had never heard of that before. How about you, Saraya? Do you have anything to share about your studies, like a story?
Yes, I do have a story to share what I have gone through once I finished my SPM. It's not about my result. I did very well and I got enough credit to enter university, but I'm not enough money to continue my studies in university. That time, my parents were also having a financial problem because of the pandemic. So I have decided to find a job for my own good. When we are having a financial problem, it's quite hard to study. I don't want to give trouble to my parents and make them suffer more. So I joined work and started to save money for my studies.
I see. What about after the pandemic? Rumaisa, is there any difference on your way to study as an international student?
As I have said earlier, I really want to enjoy the campus life. Me being an international student, the campus life is very different from local students, I believe, because it's a completely new country for me. Also, meeting new peoples, different cultures, different languages. It would have been great if I could enjoy the most of it. So, after the pandemic, I feel like everything will be better and normal again. All of us can go back to a normal educational life and can do everything that we wanted to do before the pandemic.
That's terrible to hear. What about you, Vash? What is the differences in your study after the pandemic?
Um, well, not good, not good at all. It does affect my concentration in my class because online doesn't really suit me. I rather study in the old school way, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What about you, Saraya? Do you have any tips or study to share with our audience regarding the effect of pandemic?
Yeah, yes, I do have some tips to overcome the mental issues that people got affected by the pandemic. The tips that I can give is use relaxation techniques, do some meditation, do breathing exercise, talk with family members or friends to feel better, and look for therapies to overcome your problems.
Oh, those are really good tips for me. So I also do have a little story I want to share with you guys. It's not about the studies. It's just my life experience during the pandemic. So I remember it was my first MCO here. I'm living in Sarawak, so first MCO here. So it was about 18 March on 2020. Yeah,
19.
2019 or 2019. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. It's 2019 or 2020.
Okay, either one of them.
So before MCO, I was 78 kilograms. But after MCO, it was about 3 months. I only have 62 kilogram left. I think a lot of people must be wondering how I lost my weight. So my friends see me. They say, "Oh, are you drugging?" No lah, actually.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's because my roughing started to become irregular, even upside down. Going to bed in the morning and staying up late at night. So at that time, I ate the first meal of the day is in the afternoon, and then the second meal was a midnight snack only. So
So basically no breakfast lah.
yeah, no breakfast and also maybe no dinner.
Ah,
Only afternoon meal and a midnight snack.
I see, I see.
So this is a bad habit lah. Please don't learn it because it will have bad consequence. So in fact, what I lost was not my weight. Is my muscle because my speed and my reflex are already not as good as they used to be when I'm exercising. So this is a little story that I want to warn you about. Please don't be lazy and have a good daily roughing during the pandemic. Thank you.
That's right. Hope these tips could help the audience out there. Thank you for the information and stories that had been shared by all the members just now. Hence, Jason, let's go to the next session of our podcast.
Sure, Chu Liang So. So as for our next section, we are happy to announce that it will be an interview with a special guest that we had invited. He is one of our senior who is also from the Multimedia University. Let's welcome Mr. Tay Han Xiang to our podcast.
Hello, my name is Han Xiang. I'm a retail pharmacist.
Welcome, Mr. Tian Xiang. First of all, thank you for your time for having us with the podcast. So to open the topic, what is your view on the current pandemic?
COVID-19 pandemic is the greatest communicable disease outbreak to have hit Malaysia since the 1918 Spanish flu. And Malaysia healthcare system might be overwhelmed since most of the children and infants are unvaccinated.
That's true. Well, since you are the pharmacist, as you say just now, does your job has any relation with the current pandemic?
As a community pharmacist, my role in supporting the healthcare system during COVID-19 are delivering medications to the patients, educating patients on proper way to use the self-test kit, educating patients on signs and symptoms of COVID-19, performing consultations on minor ailments, and clarifying misconceptions about the COVID-19 treatment.
I see. So, as a pharmacist, does the pandemic affect your work in any way?
Yes, after COVID-19 hit the Malaysia, I need to wear face masks during work and practice social distancing with customers. I play a role in educating patients on proper way to use the self-test kit and differentiate various type of masks in the market.
That's great. For our next question, in your opinion, who is responsible for the increase of the COVID case? Is it the government who failed to control it, or the resident that caused the breakout?
All of us are responsible for the increase of COVID-19 cases.
That's true. We can't really put any weight or blame any side right now. As everyone feels it, this pandemic really does wear us out. What do you feel? Will this pandemic ever end?
This pandemic will never end, but vaccination can prevent the serious side effect of COVID-19 and reduce the rate of admission to the hospital.
That's unfortunate, but that's true. What we all can do currently, which is by taking the vaccination provided. As the final and as the last and final question for you, do you have any suggestion for ideas that you can give to our audience to overcome this pandemic?
We should practice TRIS, TRISS, that KKM suggested, which include task, report, isolate, inform, and seek. We should always follow the SOP that's suggested by the KKM, and practice social distancing and wear proper masks in order to overcome this pandemic.
That's right. Everyone out there should not give up just yet. And let's overcome this pandemic together and stay strong and healthy. Alright. Thank you, Mr. Tian Xiang, for your great tips, and I'm sure it will be really helpful for all of the audience out there. And right here will be the end of our podcast. And we wish everyone would stay strong and overcome this pandemic together. Goodbye.